Gloria to Jehovah.
Tuli wano nga obukiiko bwa Parliament obuvunaanyizibwa ku nsaasaanya ya Uganda accountability committees era tusuubira nti wetunaamalira nga tuli beetegefu okubanga tutandika ku Auditor General's report kubanga yazzeemu neteekebwa bupya ku Parliament laying on table era tumanyi tugenda kuyambako okutaasa ssente za Uganda ezo zonna ze baasaasaanya mu bukyamu ebyo byonna ebyakolebwa nga tebirina kukolebwa bye bintu byetugenda okubanga tubangibwa wano ate tumale tugende tutandika okuteeka mu nkola ensonga zonna ze tunaaba tuyize era tuli entebe ze mu ngeri enjawulo nyaniriza ba parliamentarians mu ntebe muno naye nga ekituleese kwe kwongera okwetegereza engeri tugenda okukwatemu emirimu gyaffe ku nsonga z'ensaasaanya ey'essente y'omuwi w'omusolo era twaniriza Parliament bw'entebe wano mu Wakiso nga tuzze okusoma ffe committees ezivunaanyizibwa ku mbalirira accountability era twagala okubanga tubako ebintu byetwetegereza.
President olumu bamunanyeza bwereere director president zibeera very clear yakugamba nti kola kino singa kinaaba kikola kigoberera amateeka, so it is up to you bwe implementer okulaba nga president ogoberera president byakoze ekibyakoge. President tagamba nti omuwadde right agamba nti follow the procedures and the rules ezigoberera ekyo abakoze atya kyabasabye. Kakati obuvunaanyizibwa busigala eri ggwe. President tagaba, president asuggestinga kati gwe ali mu nteekateeka eyo n'olaba nga kikoze eki nga kisaanidde. Kwebaza management ne leadership ya Parliament okusobola okulaba nti boganizinze gundi eno enteekateeka eno okulaba nga ba members ba public accounts committees omuli public accounts central government omuli public accounts committee local government and kosase okulaba nga bafuna induction egenda okubayambako okutambuza emirimu gyabwe nga baddamu ebibuuzo era nga baddamu enkola kubanga tukimanyi bulungi nti ssente z'omuwi w'omusolo mu Uganda committees esatu ezivunaanyizibwa okulaba nga zirondoola n'okugoberera n'okulaba nti ebikoleddwa nga zidda mu kwekenneenya Auditor General's report gy'aba amaze okuba nga yakoze eki nga yakoze n'ekyo. First of all induction ennungi nnyo ate era ne speaker bw'abadde aggulawo akubiriza ababaka okubeera abeesimbu okubeera ababaka abatunula ku nsonga zaabwe n'okulaba nga bagoberera amateeka nga bwe gatambula aga committees n'okulaba nga bawa fair hearing eri entities ez'enjawulo eziba zikoze eki eziba zizze n'okulaba nga waliwo value for money mu projects ez'enjawulo.
Kakati bano basipiika baffe kye bali mu tulaga kati bwe biyina okuba nti batulaze omutima omulungi tebaali agadde ebintu bitambule bulungi naye ebiseera ebisinga institution si ya Parliament yokka, institution zonna siteeti bw'eba eyina kyeyagala bye baagala si ensonga balina serving state oba regimu. Kati ebiseera ebisinga manyi basipiika baali agadde nnyo okukola ebituufu era tayebwa ne munne both bavuddeyo ne bagamba twagala kuluna ebintu bitambule nga bwe birina okutambula. Kati ekyatuuka ku Anita Amongo mu biseera bye nga sipiika yayagala nnyo sanyusa siteeti, n'ayagala obulamu bwe bwonna siteeti ebeere ki nsanyufu okusinga institutioni. Ate nga number one protector of the institution of parliament bamuyita speaker. Whenever state buli lweyimuka ng'erina byeyagala naddala okunafuya institution ya parliament eyalibadde ayimirirawo ku lwa parliament yalibadde speaker. Era kyetwagala okubalaba kati okuba nga bakola ki nga bakola mu biseera nga kubanga ebinaabula parliament byebyo mukutte accountability committee ekutte omubbi ali mu bayita mugiwolereze ye speaker waki wa parliament. Lwaki yafunye akasimu okuva mu bakulu ba state. Kakati singa kino kye baagala bagenda ne bakidiscussingako ne state agents ne babagamba tetwagala kuddamu kutuyingirira mutuleke tukole emirimu gyaffe, kitegeeza buli alina okukola ebintu alina obikola mu butuufu. Naye nga bakyali wano bakyatupromisinga nga state ekyali nga bweri nga teyagala strong institution eya parliament, state nga teyagala strong institution eya makooti, state nga teyagala strong institution eya buli kintu mu ggwanga, nga baagala obuyinza bubeere wamu wa president. Era bino byonna tujja kutuuka ekiseera twaseesinge tugambe nti bano nga mwapromisinga bino nga temwakola bino, kubanga katwala tuli ku accountability matters. Teriyo parliament, the role of oversight is given to you. Lwaki speaker walikoleredde okunafuya akakiiko ka parliament akakuwa confidence y'abantu? Kuba akakiiko buli kakola eri abantu bagamba parliament yakoze, parliament omubbi yamukutte, parliament yakoze kino. So teyali badde speaker nga olw'okwagala okusanyusa state nga ali mu kukola okulaba nga akakiiko kanafuwa. Era nja kubeebaza for now deputy speaker ne speaker waffe okuba nti balaze willingness. Katusuubire nga bwe babyogera bwe bagenda okubituukiriza kati amaaso ku lutimbe. Gloria nakusaba oleme kunjogeza luzungu. Gwe ebintu ebyo babiddamu mu luzungu osookanga mu luzungu.
Abantu babadde kwekeka nnyo mu State House, oli aziza omusango afunye contract sente n'aziri atakoze mulimu, kati amateeka bwe gamukwata ngadduka mu State House nga for protection. Kati ekintu ekyo kibadde kityobola nnyo enkola ennungi, enkola eri open, enkola eri transparent nga kikontana nayo. So kinakyo tukiwulidde nga speaker atukubiriza era ng'akubiriza abo bonna babadde beenyigira mu bikolwa ng'ebyo bamanye nti eventually etteeka ojja catching up nalyo lijja kukwata wadde wekwese mu State House akaseera kajja kutuuka etteeka likole ki lijja likukwate. So generally ebadde speech nungi, atukubiriza ebintu bingi ate tumwebaza. Kati katutandikira awo tulabe workshop nga bw'eneetambula. Speaker ayogedde bulungi nnyo era tumusanyukidde kwegamba atukalatiriza ku bintu bingi, naddala ayogedde ku kintu ky'ababaka kubeera abeerufu n'obutenyigira mu ebintu nga ensonga nga za corruption, kubanga ku parliament wano tubadde n'ekizibu kinene nnyo ekyenguzi. Kati n'obukiiko buno bwolaba accountability committees nabwo mubaddemu enguzi ng'efumbeketedde mu bukiiko muno, naddala mu parliament gye tumaze eri ya 11 ababaka abamu nga batuukirira bakaawo batown clerk babajjako ssente balyoke babakolere repooti ennungi, ebintu bwe bityo. Kwegamba speaker tukubiriza nnyo okulaba nti ebintu bwe bityo tubyewala. Kyetuva tumusanyukidde nnyo ku nsonga eyo, naye ne twongerako ne tugamba ne parliament nayo ku luno ebeereko n'obuvunaanyizibwa kulaba nti ababaka babeera facilitated bulungi mu kukola emirimu gyabwe. Kati bwonna bwe tunaakolera awamu kyemmanyi mu palimenti eno eya 12 emirimu gujja kuba omulimu omulungi. Sipiika ayogedde n'ensonga y'okulaba nti abantu baleme kwekweka oba kwekweka mu bbaluwa eza bbulu, kwegamba ebbaluwa eziva mu State House. Ebbaluwa eziva mu State House kulaba nti bakola ki tibakola accountability, nti bekweka amabega ga pulezidenti kulaba nga bakola ebintu ebimenya amateeka, ebintu bwebityo. Ekyo nakyo akyogeddeko era ate nga tukiraba nga kintu kikulu nnyo. Bantu bangi babadde bakoze
amakulu g'ensonga g'obukiiko buno obwa palamenti bwe tuyita accountability committees kiri nti omwi w'omusolo bw'asasula omusolo guva mu kyagi kya Uganda nga palamenti yeesalawo, ne palamenti erina obuvunaanyizibwa okulondola sente omwi w'omusolo gye zikoleseddwamu. Ssemateeka wa Uganda n'amateeka amalala gonna gateekawo obukiiko obwo n'enkola yaago okulaba galondoola abakozi ba gavumenti okulaba gye bakolesezaamu ssente. Olwali tuba tuggulawo omusomo ogw'okuyigiriza ababaka abapya oba n'abakadde okweyongerako mu ngeri gye balina okutambuzaamu emirimu gyabwe mu bukiiko buno. Kuba tubalaze nti nsonga nkulu nnyo nti n'Abannayuganda balabanga essente tuziisa ne zibbibwa ne watabaawo kirondoola. So tubali tubalaga nti balina okufaayo nnyo okulaba nga wabaawo action, nga lipooti zaabwe gavumenti ezeeyambisa nga bazikoze nga beetengeredde, nga tebalina kyekubiira ate ne bazikola mu bwangu. Bw'olaba tebakikoze bwe batyo abantu bajja kusigala nga si bamativu. Kyova olaba palamenti yeegoberera mateeka, n'oli bw'aba tagoberedde mateeka naye nga akola ku nsonga gye balaba nga ebadde banyigiriza bama ne bakuba engalo, naye byonna bimaliriza ma ne biddayo mu mateeka. Webale nnyo, webalire ddala. The leadership of these committees to the opposition, because effective oversight demands independence. That responsibility, however, action for the Public Accounts Committee. I congratulate all members who have been entrusted with the responsibility and thank the clerk to Parliament for organizing the important program. Honorable members, the work before you is among the most important that Parliament undertakes. Every decision you make has consequences far beyond the committee rooms. It affects whether public resources are used for the purpose Parliament approved it, whether government delivers value for money, and ultimately whether Ugandans receive the services they deserve. When public funds are wasted, squandered, diverted, or poorly managed, the effects are felt across the country. Communities wait longer for safe water, health facilities, operate without essential medicines, roads deteriorate before the expected lifespan, and schools lack the facilities learners need. Behind every audit query is a Ugandan whose expectations have not been met. Honorable members, the Constitution entrusts Parliament with the responsibility of holding the executive accountable for the use of public resources. The Public Accounts Committees are central to the responsibility. Their leadership is entrusted to the opposition not as a political privilege, but as a safeguard for independent oversight. The arrangement reinforces Parliament's role as a check on the executive power and strengthens the public confidence in our accountability process. The responsibility before the accountability committees goes beyond considering audit findings. Your task is to establish why financial irregularities continue to reoccur, identify the weaknesses in public financial management, hold accounting officers accountable, and ensure that the public institutions implement collective measures. Your task is to establish why financial irregularities continue to occur, identify weaknesses in public financial management, hold accounting officers accountable, and ensure that the recommendations are implemented. Unless those weaknesses are addressed, the same institutions will continue returning to Parliament with the same audit queries year after year. Honorable members, one concern that deserves greater attention is the need to detect the misuse of public resources much earlier. Accountability should not begin only after the Auditor General has completed an audit and laid the report before Parliament. By then, public resources may already have been lost, projects abandoned, and opportunities missed. These committees should therefore strengthen Parliament's capacity to identify warning signs at an early stage through regular engagement with accounting officers, scrutiny of implementation of the budget, field visits, and information brought to Parliament by citizens and other oversight institutions. Emerging problems can be identified before they become major scandals. Preventing the misuse of public resources is always better than accounting for losses after the damage has already been done. That is equally true when it comes to the timing of our work. Delayed oversight weakens accountability. It allows poor practices to become entrenched and gives room for recurring irregularities to persist. Parliaments must remain responsive and ensure that issues requiring attention are examined without unnecessary delays. Honourable members, our oversight must also be strategic. The demands placed upon these committees are enormous, yet resources and time are limited. Greater attention should be directed towards institutions, programs, and projects where the risks are highest, where public expenditure is substantial, and where failures have the greatest impact on service delivery. Effective oversight is not measured by the number of entities examined. It is measured by whether Parliament's intervention results into better management of public resources. Member and every technical staff has a duty to uphold the integrity of these committees and ensure that public resources are accounted for in accordance with the law. The responsibility also calls for the highest standards of personal integrity. Many of the institutions that appear before these committees have significant interest to protect. There will be occasions when members depend on decisions that are guided by the law, supported by evidence, and made solid in the interest of the public. Honourable members, the credibility of accountability committees rests not only on the quality of their reports, but also on the integrity of those who produce them. Once the credibility is compromised, public confidence in Parliament's oversight is diminished. You should therefore prepare thoroughly, interrogate the evidence objectively, and reach conclusions that are supported by the facts. The confidence of the people of Uganda will depend on your ability to exercise this mandate with courage, independence, and integrity. This induction provides an opportunity to sharpen the knowledge and skills that will guide your work in the month ahead. The legal framework is well established in the Constitution, the Public Finance Management Act, the rules of procedure, the Treasury Accounting Instructions, among others. The tools required to discharge your mandate are effective. What will make the difference is how consistently those tools are applied and determination to follow matters through until recommendations are implemented. It is not enough to say we passed the resolutions, but they are not Treasury memorandums. It is the responsibility of the chairpersons of the committee and members of the committee. Colleagues, the people of Uganda have listened to the great deal of discourse on accountability. What they now require is evidence of it. They expect public funds to reach the purpose for which they were appropriated, and those charged with their management to be held to account when this does not occur. They expect the same audit queries not to reoccur year after year, but to resolve and retire those audit queries. And they expect the recommendations this Parliament adopts to produce a demonstrable change in how these institutions are run. Let us therefore strengthen Parliament's oversight role, detect abuses before it becomes systemic, insist on accountability at every level, and ensure that every public shilling delivers value to people who have been entrusted by government. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, We talk about corruption, but you all know that the biggest elephant in the room is maladministration now. Those who are entrusted with the responsibility to do oversight and actually are doing nothing about it, or are doing more covering the actual issues raised than revealing it. So I call upon members of the Public Accounts Committee, the chair and all members to know that Public Accounts Committee, unlike other committees, it is a family. It is under those committees that actually issues of political parties more often than not don't arise. You are a family. Once you achieve together. And if you fail together. Lastly, to the chairpersons, as these committees are entrusted with the opposition, but you have lesser numbers in them, mean that you must exercise skill, restraint to ensure that you move as a team, as a family. Having said that, I want to say that I wish you productive deliberation. I thank you for listening to me, for God and my country.
Your role is to champion the voices of the public who rely deeply on the state to deliver essential services and goods. This training couldn't have come at the right time when the public every day is looking for news on who has been held accountable for misuse of their resources. So I'm really happy that you're being prepared to take up that task, and we are counting on these committees, on your committees, to restore the trust of the institution of Parliament in the public. As you are aware, the 11th Parliament performed extremely well. If you look at the resolutions passed, if you look at the laws made, if you look at the all government business process, but the public felt that we didn't bite more in terms of oversight, in terms of accountability. So as parliamentary leadership, we want to pledge that we are going to support you in that line. We are not going to interfere with your work. We are going to let you do your work the way it is provided for under the law, under the rules. And we are also going to facilitate you to ensure that we effectively do that work. Our resources might not be enough in terms of facilitating you, but I want to give you an example on our determination. Committee work had been underfunded to a value of 10.4 billion. So the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker have reduced their budgets to ensure that committee works are fully funded what had been budgeted. We cut from our allowances, our budget, to ensure that we get for you the 10.4 billion that was required for you to be fully funded. And that money, you are going to get it 100%, because the budget of Parliament is released 100%. We are also engaging several partners, development partners. You've seen ambassadors are coming back. You have seen several development partners are coming to Parliament, and these used to support Parliament, especially on the oversight part, because the cost can be so high. So now many have pledged that they are going to resume supporting us. And we are going to ensure that we leverage on that relationship to get more funding for you, especially accountability committees, so that work can be done well. Now, but oversight starts with us, honorable colleagues. We are not going to go out and we say we are holding accounting officers accountable and responsible without holding ourselves. When we talk of that, usually the eyes go on the leadership of Parliament. Me, I want to start with this room. I want to know how many people are supposed to be here. If you have 4 committees, I'm supposed to be addressing over 150 members without staff. How many are here? And I want to know, those who are not here, are they going to get their allowances? Have we paid for their rooms? If we have paid for their rooms and they've not come, can we deduct it from their emoluments? Will they not quarrel? Because that's how accountability should be. Yes, I have to start from this room. Yeah. I have to start from this room. So, the clerk responsible here and the leadership, please, we need clear attendance lists, and only those who have attended should be given allowances. Those who have not attended and have received allowances on their accounts, we should deduct it from their emoluments. It goes back to Parliament, so that it can facilitate you for another course when you want to train. And it goes beyond that. The business of coming, one signs and goes away, okay, and comes back to sleep. And we are talking reality. Me, I want us to talk reality. Tell the truth, and the truth will set you free. Yeah, I came all the way from Ajumani. I was in Ajumani. I came to ensure that I'm here in the morning in time to open this conference. So, if you are here, why would the rest be here? If I can see the chairpersons, I can see Honorable Numbers, I can see Honorable Samba Patrick is here. Which other chairperson of the committee? Honorable Mwadam Kunyinji is. Yeah, but the training is in the room, not being around. So, accountability starts with us. And then, also us as administration of Parliament, as leadership, we must also be held accountable. You honorable colleagues must ask us the hard questions, and we should answer. If we don't want to answer you, then we should leave those positions for those who can answer. I think that's very, very critical if we are to hold others accountable. So it must start with us. The moment we appear accountable, then we can hold others accountable. In law, we say he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Okay? So this is very, very important for us if we are to do our work. Now, I know there are several challenges, and I think we're going to engage with the executive. For example, the issue of treasury memoranda. Because treasury memoranda, for those who are new and might have not yet, these are action taken reports on recommendations of the Auditor General and resolutions of Parliament. What action have you taken? So we are working out a mechanism. We are going to guide sector committees that before you process the budget framework paper, before you process a ministerial policy statement, let the accounting officer show the action taken. Okay? On recommendations of the Auditor General. I don't want this business of an accounting officer calling, Senyon is harassing me. You see these opposition people, they want to make the government look bad. No! The opposition is around only 20-30% of the accountability committees. These are non-partisan measures. Okay? And they are asking you from questions raised by a senior government official called Auditor General. They are not going outside. So, but now, if you look at it and you focus on Honorable Nsamba's car of the time, you say, look at how he was looking at me. He said, I have a senior government official who told me last time, in the last time, say, these people, they are making government look bad. No, but they are reading from the Auditor General's report. What do you want me to do? It's your own official. Why didn't you talk to the Auditor General not to make government look bad? If that is making government look bad anyway. Huh? So I think, and we have accounting officers who have been hiding behind the back of the president. That has to stop. Honorable colleagues, do your work. No accounting officer should come and hide behind the back of the president. Okay? Yes, if the president has anything, he informs the leadership of parliament, and we tell you, okay? But the president has told us that we must hold everyone accountable. The leakage of government resources has to stop. And I'm really happy that now, I think from last year, from last financial year, now value for money audit reports are becoming part of the final audit report. Now, because we used to have a situation where someone says, oh, I got an unqualified opinion. You got an unqualified opinion? But there is nothing that has been done. How did you get an unqualified opinion? So you look at the final result. Someone is waving at an unqualified opinion, but the institution is rotten and the money didn't deliver anything. That's why when the new Auditor General came in, we engaged him and we said, we must get value for money audit reports. And I want to urge you, honorable colleagues and chairs, please look so much in those value for money audit reports. Why should a kilometer, like on this 1 billion, I was asking my people of Mitoma the other day, Mitoma was getting around 300 million for roads. Okay? And we were okay. We could survive. When we added on the 1 billion, the roads became bad. Huh? When we added on the 1 billion, the situation became worse. I said, but I thought the 1 billion was going now to make it even much, much, much better. Okay, and then, honorable colleagues, why we must do oversight. And then they are saying, right, honorable, you're failing because roads are not done in the area. But we pushed, worked with the president, and we added money, triple of what you are getting. But what have we gotten out? So why should a kilometer cost 60 million in one district, and then in the neighboring district it is costing 150 million? Same terrain, okay? All of you have road equipment. So why? These are issues our local government accounts committee, I think, is going to look into much, much deeper to see how best do we get value for money. How best, and colleagues, don't be, I saw, right, don't be diverted. Focus on accountability issues. Don't reach in a committee at your side and you start looking for academic documents of accounting officers. Those are not helpful. You get it? Yes, those are not. Go to the issues where the money and how did you use it? And how did you use it? Accounting officer quarreled with who and who? You are quarreling your what? No. What we want is, okay, if you quarrel but you work, it's not a problem for me. But if you don't quarrel, but you squander government resources, then you have a problem. So colleagues, we need to be really aligned on what is our priority. And I know very well the colleagues who have been given a chance to chair these positions. These are senior legislators, and I have all the confidence in you that you're going to deliver strongly. Just count on our support. We are going to talk with the executive and see, really, once constitutional amendments are brought, we have to amend Article 163 of Article 5 on the reporting back, on the processing, vetting, and reporting back of Parliament, on Auditor General's reports. You can't say our committees should work for only 6 months in a year. Or we start stampeding. No. What we are saying is, well, committees shouldn't work as if you're doing a new audit. No, because the Auditor General is part of Parliament. That's why the Auditor General is part of Parliament. I think you should look through. This is the Auditor General's report. These are very clear, but we have issues here. And then we look at exit meetings. What were the issues solved during the exit meetings? What are the pending issues? What have been the recycled issues year after year after year after year in terms of accountability, and we say these are going to be handled extensively. So if we can amend the law so that we get at least 10 months, at least 10 months, I'm sure if we add you 4 months from the 6th, you'd be able to process these reports and you conclude them. Otherwise, if we don't get that, then our hands will be tied. Within 6 months, we have to adopt the Auditor General's report so that we can now ask for Treasury memorandum, which we will focus on. Then, like I said, we are already talking to the Minister of Finance, and he's very, very helpful on ensuring that Treasury memoranda are processed and passed on quickly. Colleagues, I request you to follow well laid down procedures. And I think that's why you are here. I don't want you to do good work. You put in all the effort. You burn the midnight candle, but your report is struck out because you didn't follow procedure. Because you see, these people are always, for them what is important is what is on record. Okay? Even you, when you expose them in the public, and for them they go and get court striking out the report, they will continue, they say no, Parliament lied because court, you see what court did. So we have to be very cautious. People, accounting officers are running tricks on how to make us look bad. I request you that you follow the procedure, however painful it is. You follow procedure, you follow rules of natural justice, and you follow the law. Give people a chance to be heard. Number 3, for the public to have trust in us, I request you, honorable colleagues, when you're meeting the accounting officers and our witnesses, your conclusion is before cameras. Because chairs, I think you will have to caution your members. There are members who don't speak in meetings, wait to speak to the media in the corridors. And when they are speaking to the media in the corridors, they are giving conclusions as if that's what you've resolved. So then, at the end of the day, when you analyze, you get technical stuff, you do a report, it gives a different picture. That's when people start saying they were bribed. But we saw you saying, so and so stole this money and you've confirmed it. But then in the concluding report which is coming to Parliament, you're absolving the person. The public says, but you concluded on it, we even have it on video. So we have to be very cautious in our work to clearly not to make conclusions when we are interacting with our witnesses. How you interact, if you paint someone as thief, if you say you stole this, the public will take it that you got a thief. The next day they see you setting that same person free. So I think this would be the style which I'm very sure that these able-bodied and knowledgeable leaders will be able to guide the committee. So chairpersons you have, and you also have people who are going to ask for money in your names. Honorable numbers, people will get billions in your name. You hear people say, but they even ate my money and went ahead and did this to me. But which money? So we request you, please. We have been given enough support in terms of security. So chairpersons, if you suspect any member, kindly inform the leadership of Parliament. We have been given enough support by the President and security to track any member who will be trying to extort money from the public and accounting officers. That one will be spoiling your name as the whole committee. And we also call upon accounting officers. These days it's very, very easy to record these people. Even with reading glasses, you can record someone. Even with a pen, please record for us that evidence. And we shall ensure that member faces the full wrath of the law. Because those members will be discrediting the good work colleagues you are doing. Some are not even members of parliament. Some will be brokers in town. Some will be cracks of our own committees and the staff attached committees. Some will be drivers in parliament, will be bodyguards. You see someone looking at you and feeling like punching you, and you're like, but I did my work. I only asked you a question which the Auditor General had raised. Kumbe, the person is annoyed that you took 1 billion and you never did it. It sees as being professional, now it becomes personal. So please, let us guard ourselves against that. Honorable Sim and all the tactics which these people use, that's why we brought him in to see how we can help to strengthen you, to support you, so that you don't fall prey to that. So colleagues, corruption which we are fighting is not a mere moral failing that you attribute it to an individual. It is a pandemic that won't allow us to grow as a nation. And Parliament, we have the power, we have the instruments, we have the tools to support the public in fighting this vice. Of course, corruption fights back. You expect that. Some people will threaten to find you in your constituencies. Okay? Yeah. It fights back. But the people you serve, once you do good work, they will appreciate you. They will appreciate you. Me, when it comes to this, a very good example is the style of Honorable Baram. Some people want steal in a crude manner, but they don't want to be dealt with in a crude manner. If Baram is dealing with you in a crude manner, it's because you also did it in a crude manner. That's why the public, yesterday I was with Baram in Adjumani when they announced his name, the public went wild. So what is that which the public is appreciating that we intellectuals are not appreciating? We intellectuals who are waiting for the procedures, for the right to procedures, what does the law say? You cannot embarrass engineers. So when you are not embarrassed, when you are given the comfort to do work, what did you do? And why is the public happy with the one who is embarrassing you? So that disconnect between us, political elites, and the public is extremely critical. Me, I want us to support Honorable Baram. He goes down because now people are working up. I'm seeing on our groups, WhatsApp groups of our constituencies, people are saying, please, when is Baram coming? When is Baram coming? You remember Honorable Peter Gwang did it, and some people went for him. That's why I say they went for him badly. So to me, if these people are stealing in a crude manner, let them be dealt with by people who can also do it in a... There are things which Baram does that I can't do. So if those things can help to catch these thieves and expose them, let him do it. Otherwise, if he was doing wrong, the public wouldn't be happy. But the public is happy. Meaning, the legal procedures and well-down procedures of fair hearing of what, people are not appreciating them, they are not seeing results. But on the ground, how can you have an askari being the one putting the drip on people? And is the one who registers the medicine, the drug, and then they even trained him on how to administer. And the public said, but he's the one who has been saving us. Okay? You say, but you have a doctor. No, this is wrong. But someone says, but he saved my life. So if people have started appreciating askaris better than professional doctors, where are we going? It means we have been disconnected. So people are about to start appreciating LC1 chairpersons more than we MPs. So we must wake up also and see a way we reconnect back to our people. I want to conclude by saying we have a lot of hope in you. We are doing all we can as the leadership of the institution. Tomorrow we are holding our first commission meeting to look into how best. And colleagues, especially the new ones, some of us are going to be painted badly as if we are people who don't help, as if we are. But now, I help you, I give you money from where? If you want, I can divert committee money, then I help a few. And then, but to me, I believe if you create a system of fairness, okay, then RAC will be for anyone. But if we create a system of patronage and a system that lacks accountability, then only a few will benefit. And those few will be powerful, will threaten the rest of you into silence, okay, and will paint us different. What we are trying to say is that be transparent, we are also going to be transparent. I expect you as committee chairpersons, you call your committee members, you declare the budgets to them. All members, you say, this is the budget. Yes, it's clearly structured. Let the committee clerk present the budget we have given to the committee. This is the money for inland travel. This is the money for travel abroad. And then you agree on a work plan as a committee. I have a committee where the chairperson used all the money for travel abroad alone. Yes, in the 11th parliament. There is a chairperson who used all the money for travel abroad. He was just traveling quietly with the clerk. Quietly.
He was the committee then.
So he became the committee. but it's not an accountability committee. It was a standing committee, but not an accountability committee. Honorary Singoma says he knows the committee. So, but I know these chairpersons who are here and their deputies, I know them very well. I'm sure they are going to be very, very transparent. And that's the only way you can build a very strong committee, very strong teamwork. I request you don't allow politics to enter the committees. Please, I request we don't hear NRM caucus in a committee, NUB caucus in a committee, which independence caucus in a committee. No. All of you, you're members of the committee. The chair should be fair to you all, but you should be fair to him or her and support him or her. When you're signing this report, it is for helping government. It is not for helping the chair. Okay? With those very many words, I want to declare the induction open. Now, colleagues, Honorable Samba has a procedure matter. The rules apply here. You know, I'm not a chair, convener. I can take 2 questions.
Mr. Speaker, thank you so much. When you look at this program,
to be your first for the accountability committees. But I also want to welcome colleagues whom we had in Adjumani yesterday at the send of our colleague, General Moses Ari, where Parliament showed unity for purpose and standing by each other. So I want to thank you, honorable colleagues. Today's training, which is going to last, I think, 2 days, resources, and ensure that commitments made within the chamber and translated into